All right, today we are diving into a really powerful idea. Seriously, this one concept completely changed manufacturing, and I guarantee it'll change how you look at, well, just about any system, from a giant factory all the way down to your own to-do list. And it all kicks off with a mystery. So, picture this factory, okay? On paper, it's got everything going for it. You've got skilled workers, plenty of raw materials, the machines are all humming along, everything looks perfect. But for some reason, the number of finished products coming out the door is just disappointingly low. So what's going on here?
Well, the first thing management does is what anyone would do, right? They push harder. They tell everyone, come on, run the machines faster. They start approving a bunch of overtime thinking, more hours must equal more output. It makes total sense, doesn't it?
But here's the crazy part. It doesn't work at all. Even with everyone working harder, putting in longer hours, the final output barely even budges. This is the exact paradox that drove managers crazy for years, and this is where we start digging. Because the answer, it turns out, isn't about working harder everywhere. It's about working smarter in one very specific place. So the whole reason for this factory's big problem, it comes down to one single idea, the bottleneck. Or if you want to get technical, it's called the constraint. And what's wild is that in pretty much any process you can think of, there's always one single point that is secretly running the whole show. Okay, so what is a constraint exactly? Well, it's just whatever's stopping the system from getting more of what it wants. Think of it like the weakest link in a chain. It's that one single thing that holds everybody else back.
And here's a great way to think about it. Imagine you're on a massive 5-lane highway, and suddenly it squeezes down into a single-lane bridge. Now, it doesn't matter one bit if cars are flying at 80 miles an hour before they get to that bridge, right? The entire flow of traffic, the real speed, is decided by how many cars can get across that one tiny, narrow point. Well, factories, they work the exact same way.
Now, a constraint can be a lot of different things, It could be that you don't have enough skilled people, or maybe it's a supplier who just can't keep up. It could even be something like bad planning. But more often than not, especially when we're talking about manufacturing, the constraint is one specific slow machine. That's our bottleneck.
All right, let's look at a super simple example to really nail this down. Because, it's one thing to talk about this stuff in theory, but when you actually see the numbers, oh man, it becomes crystal clear just how much power one single bottleneck really has.
So let's say we have a really basic production line. To get a finished product, a part has to go through machine A, then it goes to machine B, and finally it finishes up at machine C. Super straightforward.
Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. Look at the speeds of these machines. Machine A, it's a beast. It can crank out 120 units an hour. Machine C is pretty fast too, at 110. But then you get to machine B. It can only handle 80 units an hour. That's our slowpoke. That's our bottleneck.
So here it is, the million-dollar question. Looking at those numbers, what is the real maximum output of the entire system? How many finished products can this factory actually make in 1 hour? You think it's an average of the three? Or maybe it's the speed of the fastest machine? What do you think?
The answer is 80. That's it, just 80. The entire system, the whole factory, can only move as fast as its slowest part. Machine B, our bottleneck, is that one-lane bridge. It sets the pace for everything.
And this is so important to get. If machine A just goes full steam ahead at 120 units an hour, what happens? All it does is create a giant pile of half-finished stuff right in front of machine B. It feels really productive, sure, but it's an illusion. All you're really doing is creating waste and clutter, because the final output of the factory? It's still stuck at 80.
Okay, so if the answer isn't just run everything faster, then what is the answer? How do you actually manage a system like this? Well, this is where the theory of constraints gives us this really elegant and honestly kind of cool solution. It's called drum, buffer, rope.
So here's how this whole thing works. First up, you've got the drum, the bottleneck machine. That becomes the drum. It beats out the rhythm for the entire factory. Its pace is the only pace that matters. Simple. Then you have the buffer. This is basically a small, strategic pile of work that you place right in front of the bottleneck. Think of it like a safety cushion. It's there to make sure the bottleneck never starves, that it always has something to work on. And finally, there's the rope. The rope is a signal. It's like a communication line that goes from the bottleneck all the way back to the start of the process. It tells the first machine, hey, release another piece of material. This rope ties the whole factory to the bottleneck speed, and it's what prevents that huge wasteful pileup we were talking about.
Now, getting your head around this, it's so much more than just a scheduling trick.
It completely changes where you put your energy when you want to improve things. It's the classic difference between just being busy and actually being effective.
So here's what most people get wrong. The common mistake is to try and make every machine a little bit more efficient. It feels productive, right? But it's a total waste of time and money. The theory of constraints principle is completely different, almost radical. It says, focus all of your improvement efforts, 100% of them, only on the constraint, only on the bottleneck. Why? Because that is the only place where making an improvement will actually make a difference to the factory's final output.
I mean, just think about how powerful this is. Let's say you spend a bunch of money and make machine A a non-bottleneck 20% faster. What happens to your total factory output? Absolutely nothing. Zero. You just end up with an even bigger pile of inventory sitting around. But what if you make the bottleneck, machine B, just 20% faster? Suddenly, the output of the entire factory jumps by 20%. That is an incredible leverage point.
And look, this idea goes way beyond just factories. You can apply this to project management, to software development. You can even apply it to your own personal productivity. Any system is always limited by one single constraint. So we figured out the bottleneck in our little factory example, which leads to the final and maybe most important question. What's yours?